Thank you for watching this Bridgewater Now update. I'm John Locke. No doubt by now you've probably read on social media and on our BTV Access social media that a man who many people around Bridgewater knew very well was killed in a single car accident on Friday morning in Freetown. That man, 45-year-old Jason Sakosha, was from New Bedford but also owned Jason's Barbershop in Bridgewater on Main Street. Jeff Fowler has more on a growing memorial to honor the memory of a man who continued a tradition spanning nearly 1 century.
Bridgewater began its weekend mourning on Monday following the unexpected passing of a beloved barber, Jason Sakosha. There is a growing memorial outside the doors of the Main Street shop as clients and friends reflect on a local business that spanned 3 generations. Former clients have sent in photos and memories of their times, noting that a visit to Jason's included much more than just a haircut. Jason Sakosha passed away after a tragic car accident on Friday morning, leaving behind his wife and 2 young daughters. A GoFundMe page was set up and has already brought in over $56,000. We thought this would be a good time to look back at the tradition that was the Sakosha family, celebrating a 93-year run as Bridgewater's barbers.
Times were different back in 1928. They were simpler and a lot cheaper. You could buy a wardrobe for about $4. A crisp $10 bill would give you enough gas to last a month, and for a couple of quarters, you could get a new hairstyle. If you were getting a trim in the town of Bridgewater in the late 20s, chances are Nicholas Sakosha was your barber. The Sakosha family has been a staple in town for 3 generations, and many of those years were spent at their Broad Street location, which had quite a bit of history. Bridgewater was a big shoe town in the early 1900s, and as David Sakosha tells us, his dad got an ambition for the business thanks to a peddler named Joseph.
In the beginning it was just a gesture, but he kept saying that my father was a better cutter at home than the cutters were in the barbershops. And he talked to my grandmother and grandfather and said, you really should become a barber. With the influence of Joseph and with the influence of Grandma and Grandpa, then my father did go to barber school and then became Bridgewater's barber that got us into our 3 generations.
A dream came true, and a 75-year-old tradition was born. Today, Nick Sakosha's legacy is carried on by a large portion of his family.
My brother, Richard, and his son, Nicholas, are also barbers. So in our whole family, we have 5 barbers and 2 hairdressers. Quite different.
For years, patrons visited the old barber's shop to gossip, get the inside scoop on current affairs, and witness the many changes that were taking place in their old town.
Thank you, Jeff. As of this taping, the state police haven't given an exact cause to the crash, but do say it remains under investigation. Switching gears, and while most students in Bridgewater and Rainham go to school in the BR School District, there are a small number that go to Bristol Plymouth Regional Technical School located in Taunton. Regardless of the school, residents will have their voices heard in an upcoming vote. Discussions have been in the works for a new school that would have a price tag of around $305 million pending the vote of the 7 member communities. Originally, there was an election date of January 29th in those cities and towns, but they all wrote the MSBA to push back the vote to Saturday, March 5th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. According to the school's website, the estimated annual tax impact on the average single-family home here in Bridgewater would be $131, while in Rainham it would be $217. Berkeley would have the highest impact at $285 and Rehoboth the lowest of $110. I mentioned that the member towns would be voting, and Bridgewater is no exception, as the vote again is Saturday, March 5th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Bridgewater Middle School on Mount Prospect Street. We're starting to perhaps see the first impact the holiday break had on the BR School District from the pandemic front. You're looking at the latest report from the BR School District's website, and it has data from Christmas Eve through January 6th. 446 students had a positive COVID test, and 48 employees tested positive for the virus. There is a breakdown by school, but that does combine the students and staff numbers. At the high school, there were 145 individuals testing positive, while among personnel and students at the Mitchell School, there were 111 positive tests. In each of the other school buildings in the district, there were under 100 positive tests. This past Thursday also saw the state release the local breakdown, and again we are seeing numbers continue to sharply rise in some categories. The 2-week testing numbers continue to decline, however the number of cases continue to increase. The 2-week positivity percentage is around the highest since the start of the pandemic in Bridgewater at 16.75%. That's up nearly 5% from just the week prior. And as you look at the trends, it is worth noting that the numbers may be skewed a bit as positive at-home tests may not be reported to local departments of public health. On our news programming, when we get a chance with a lot of heavy news like we've had today, we like to give you some stories that may get you talking and maybe even get a laugh or two. It's time to take a look at some trending news. Obviously, it's been a frigid week here, and it makes you probably want to take a trip down south. Turns out one seal in particular likes it up here in the Northeast. A juvenile harbor seal has made its home in the Hudson River. Officials say as a pup, the seal was abandoned in Maine by his mother, but was eventually tagged in Rhode Island in 2019. Just a few months later, the seal made its home on the Hudson near a lighthouse for 620 days. Unfortunately, the seal did suffer a brief skin condition, but he did get rescued and later did return to his home on the Hudson. We go from the river now to a bunch of ice, going to New Hampshire for the opening of a very popular tradition. North Woodstock, New Hampshire's Ice Castles is set to open this Friday night. These icy works of art feature LED-lit castles, frozen thrones, icy tunnels, and so much more. Those tunnels kind of sound like claustrophobia kicking in. But there will also be sleigh rides available, and with the chilly temperatures ahead for the foreseeable future, you'll certainly have some time to check it out. Tickets range from $20 to $27 and $15 to $22 for children. For more information or for tickets on the Ice Castles, visit the link that we have for you at the bottom of the screen. And we thank you for watching this Bridgewater Now update. I'm John Luck.